Some of the movies I've been reviewing lately have not been that good. Old was not that good, Snake Eyes was not that good, and I've been waiting for a movie to knock my socks off. Stillwater is the movie. Tom McCarthy directs Stillwater, and as a guy like me who really does love movies, I'm telling you that I think this movie is going to end up getting a lot of critical praise because there's no question that they're trying to win awards with this one. And let me tell you, it definitely has a shot. Matt Damon plays Bill Baker, who works as an oil rigger, and he's from Oklahoma, Stillwater, Oklahoma, and he goes to France to try to help his daughter Allison, played by Abigail Breslin, free herself from incarceration in a French prison because she was convicted of murder, and wrongfully so. So Matt Damon's character, Bill Baker, will do whatever it takes to find the culprit, to clear his daughter's name, and to repair his broken family, because we find out in the movie that his wife died before the movie happened, her mom. And so she's the only thing left in his life, and he makes it his life's purpose to eventually get her out of that prison. And despite there being possible evidence that she was innocent, her attorney is choosing not to cooperate, so Bill has taken upon himself to save the only family he has left. Along the way, while in France, he meets Virginie and her daughter Maya, and he ends up building a friendship with this family, and that family kind of becomes the family he never had on his way to saving his actual family. And I gotta talk about Matt Damon. What an amazing performer Matt Damon is in this film. Matt Damon perfectly captures a country bumpkin, hardworking blue-collar man from Oklahoma, and the film itself really does capture how scary it is to be in a foreign country, unsure what to do, unsure where to go, not being able to speak the language, doing the best you can. But it's Matt Damon's performance that brings this character to life. This was an unbelievable performance. You believed that Bill Baker was motivated. You believed it. And as you're watching the film, you can't help but root for him. You can't help but want him, despite being an imperfect guy, despite making mistakes, which he admits to in the film. You can't help but root for him. You can't help but be alongside him as we follow his quest through France, trying to help his daughter and in a way kind of help himself, because the movie kind of acts as, it's a two-part film. It's a family drama, but it's also a suspense thriller with a little bit of psychological aspects to it. The movie kind of builds itself into a suspenseful kind of feel to it, and then it really calms down and becomes this kind of like family drama with Bill and Maya and sort of his adjustment to France, and then it kind of goes back to being a suspense thriller when there's a time skip and things begin to move in the case. I don't want to spoil it, but things begin to happen. What an incredible performance by Matt Damon. What an incredible movie. This script was phenomenal. The cinematography was excellent, and the editing was absolute gold. I mean, as you're watching this film, there are moments where you're following Matt Damon's character, Bill, and you're feeling that something's going to happen, and you feel this sense of dread. And at times there's music playing, very subtle music. At other times there's no music playing at all. But you can feel that something is about to happen. Or when you see him doing something, and I'm thinking about one specific thing near the end of the film. When you see him doing something, you get this genuine sense of dread and suspense. And what I loved about the movie, again, all credit to Matt Damon and the editing, is that the movie never gets boring. The movie stays interesting. Even in the down times, there's tremendous development because of, the characters. And it really is a character story. This really is a character story. There's an arc here. There is an arc, and he's not the only one that has an arc. And the way that you watch this film is you just keep your eyes glued to it. I was not bored for a second during this film. And then by the end of the movie, there are lessons to be learned here. There are interesting character choices, and there are events that occur that change Bill's perspective on his own family, on himself. And it's one of those movies that as you're watching it, you put yourself in his position and you wonder, okay, would I do that? You know what I mean? Like, would I make that choice or would I make a different choice? And I found myself doing that multiple times during this movie, and it's all in a good way. But it's not just Matt Damon either. Abigail Breslin as Allison, she nails this. There's a great scene close to the end of this film that was powerful, man. Very, very powerful. And I think some people out there are going to be able to relate to this. I really feel that way. There is a message here in this film. And I'm telling you that by the end of the movie, you will sit there and think about this, and you'll think about Bill, you'll think about his choices, you'll think about just how this affects your life. And if something like this would ever happen to you, or maybe did happen to you. It's a very thought-provoking movie, and one of the year's best so far. I loved this movie. Go see it. It's a great date movie. If you like suspense thrillers, if you like character-driven stories, or movies that are focused on character arcs and development and things of that nature, if you really like just a good story, thumbs up for Stillwater. Go see it as soon as you can. Trust me on this one. I'll talk to you next time.